Same thing with buyers. Well, I'm thinking about, I've been holding off until the prices drop. There's more ways to negotiate, but when it comes to price dropping, it hasn't happened.
Ran a market analysis for my youngest daughter, who they bought their home in 2020, and they owe $249,000 on their house, and I can sell it for close to $6.
Oh my God! In just about 3 years. That's insane. What is up, everyone? This is Ruben Luna, your host of the Good Vibes Podcast, and today we have a very special guest, somebody that I've known for many, many years, and I've been wanting to have her on our podcast for quite some time, and finally she's here, Michelle Cordova. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right, so today we have a lot of questions for Michelle. She's been in the business for quite some time, and it's all about having good vibes and good energy, and Michelle is one of those individuals that always brings the best from herself. So Michelle, just give us an idea. We always like to start off, who you are, where you're from, how you've been doing this, all the background information that we like to have from our guests.
Okay. Well, my name's Michelle Cordova. I'm with eXp Realty. I've been here for a year and a half. Joined the Luna team last year. This year. Last year.
It's been towards the beginning of this year, I believe.
Okay. And I have been in the industry for about 8 years. I am from Arizona, so I'm a native, which you don't see very often these days. I have 3 kids, 5 grandkids, big family. Big family. They keep you busy, right? Yes, they do.
Now, Michelle, we're gonna start with some questions that we have for you. So hopefully you're ready for us, okay? We're gonna talk about a little bit personal stuff, a little bit about business, and overall, like anything that you want to add, be free to share with the audience that we have, okay?
Okay.
So one of the things that in this business, we always think about doing better and being better, right? But for you, what's the biggest myth you think clients believe about buying or selling a home today? Like, what's the biggest myth that you think it's out there?
I mean, honestly, I think that right now, and I see it all the time, is about timing the market. They think that if they wait to purchase a home, that the market's going to crash.
Right.
Or if they're selling their home, a seller always believes that their home is worth more than it actually is. A seller believes that we're always in a seller's market, and we're not. So it's really about showing them data. But people trying to time the market is just going to put them in a really bad situation.
You know what? And that's exactly right. I have had clients that are like, hey, I want to wait a year or 2 years before selling my house, and now it's like, well, your home is not worth what it was worth 2 years ago, right?
Right.
And then same thing with buyers. Well, I'm thinking about, I've been holding off until the prices drop, and they haven't really dropped.
No.
Right? There's more inventory. There's more ways to negotiate. But when it comes to price dropping, it hasn't happened.
Exactly. And
right.
I mean, I seen an article this morning that people that are trying to time the market, in 5 years, a $400,000 home is going to be a $480,000 home. So you're not timing anything.
No.
You're just putting yourself in a bad position.
Exactly. So, I mean, and here's the thing. This is a whole different, like mindset that I have about, buying or selling a home. And this is something that you can probably elaborate. Time. It's not like we have all the time in the world. Am I going to wait 5 years before buying a house and creating memories and, being more established? Am I going to wait 10 years to, create that lifestyle that I've been wanting to have? So if it's doable, why would you wait, right?
Exactly. And I always ask people that tell me, oh, you know what, I'm just going to wait. And I ask them, where are you living now? Oh, I'm renting a home. So you're paying someone else's mortgage, because basically that is what and I will write up the calculation and tell them, this is what you have spent. And one of my very first clients, I did that for her, and she bought a home within 6 months.
Yeah, you kind of like planted the seed, open up her eyes, and then follow your lead.
Yes, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're paying their mortgage off, and you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah. and then all the equity that you can earn over the years, right? And
Exactly.
then once you get to a point where you're like, hey, I need to downsize, upgrade, or maybe just cash out, there's some money in there.
Oh, yeah. There's a ton of money in there. I ran a market analysis for my youngest daughter, who they bought their home in 2020, and they owe $249,000 on their house, and I can sell it for close to $6.
Oh my God. In just about 3 years. That's insane.
And they're 25 years
Oh,
old.
just in about 5 years. I'm sorry, 5 years.
5
Yeah.
years. 5 years. They're 25 years old.
That's awesome. You know, that's like that's what you want to accomplish.
Yes. And you see, I see kids these days, and I tell their parents who are renting, don't turn your kids into renters. Make them better than who you are. Inspire them to become more.
Right.
Because too often you see that generational, it just keeps going that way. So,
Renting and just settling.
yes.
Right? Settling for, just being comfortable here. I don't want to, overextend myself, when in all reality, it's the same thing. Now you own, not,
Yes.
you're not renting.
Exactly. And you're walking around in a pair of Gucci shoes, but you live in your mom's house.
Right. That's awesome. All right, let's switch the gears here. What got you into real estate? Like, what was the one reason? Because here's the thing: we have a big team, and every single one of us have a story. And why? Like, what was the reason that you say one day, you know what? Let me try this. I think I can do this. What was the one thing that got you into this business?
So I had a friend who did very well in real estate, and I was in corporate. I'd been in corporate for 20 years, and I was so done with traveling for them. I missed I wasn't able to be intentional with my kids because I was always traveling. There were times I was gone for 2 months. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. And one Monday, March 20th, 2017, I walked in and I cleared everything out, handed over everything. I ran a region. And today's my last day. I'm leaving. And I had no plan. I had no idea what I was going to do. And then within a couple of weeks, I decided, in talking with her, I was going to do real estate. And I started class in June or July and hung my license in August.
What year was this?
2017.
2017. Oh my God.
March 20th, 2017. I will always remember that day, because when I walked out of that building, everything just shifted for me. Because I always when I'm talking to people that say, hey, I want to become a realtor, tell me all about it. I want to be able to do my own schedule. I work more now than I did then, but it's my business. And that for me is probably one of the best things. To me, it doesn't matter, because for them, I was working for them. I was doing what they needed me to do. And now I'm able to be intentional with my family, even though I'm working more.
Right.
Because it's not about that I work 23 hours out of 24. It's not that, but it's my business.
Yeah.
It's my legacy.
And you can move your schedule however,
Yes.
however you need to make it work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you won't be able to work at certain times because you spend time with family, but then you'll be available at some other times where you can invest time into your business, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just the leverage or the ability of being able to maneuver your schedule however you want. I think that's not that we work less, we work more,
We work
right?
more.
But we have the ability to make adjustments depending on what we have going on.
Yes.
So
I agree.
that's the biggest difference.
That's the big difference.
Right. Now, how do you personally define success as a realtor? Because everybody has a different idea of what success looks like being a realtor, right? What's your idea about being successful in real estate, or a successful realtor, I should say?
I think my perception today of being successful versus my perception 5-6 years ago is different, because then it was about the wins. It was always about the wins. Oh, I closed this. Oh, I closed this. And now sometimes to me it's about what I'm learning in the loss. There was a book that I read, and he talks about taking the bus after every single, I can't remember his name on the top of my head.
Yeah.
And he talks about, because when we do that, we celebrate the win for too long.
Mm-hmm.
And our rhythm just completely goes down.
Yeah.
And then it takes us 90 days to bring it back up.
Yeah.
But we were so busy celebrating, now nothing's going to happen in between. Mm-hmm. And so he talked about after your win, taking the bus back to hell. Because and not that this is hell, but it's being inside of everything and the moving pieces. That to me is success.
Or being able to get off the bus, right?
Yes.
And really really see what you've created.
Yes. And that to me is success, because really the success in what we do is behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. We don't tell our clients what we go through. We don't tell our clients what's going on. To me, the success is everything that's happening behind the scenes. It's not the wins anymore.
Yeah.
It's what it takes to get there.
To get there, right?
If that makes any sense.
100%. And also enjoying the journey.
Yes, I love the journey.
Because I've seen you and you, yeah, and I know you and your husband would like, you like to, plan your trips and and have your own time. What's your hobby? What's the one thing that kind of you like the most doing?
We have a lot of hobbies. But I did tell him in 2025 I wasn't going to travel as much. Mm-hmm. And so we were going to have to cut back on that. One of the things that we do a lot is we're in the motorcycle community. Mm-hmm. We like to be at the sand dunes during the sand dune season.
Yeah.
In the summer, he likes to take the boat out to the lake. But for me, it's really watching my grandkids at my house, having my entire family over and watching them all play, slip and slide, pull, you name it. Just that for me is everything.
Yeah.
But getting on a motorcycle and just taking off in the wind it's amazing.
And that's actually pretty cool, because I've been talking to Karina and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a motorcycle. She's like, no, you're crazy. You're not going to get a motorcycle. You're probably going to get into an accident. I'm like, I'll be careful. Trust me. But I used to go to the sand dunes way back in the day. Mm-hmm. Got into a few accidents. So ever since that happened, I got rid of them. I'm like, you know what? This is too dangerous for me. So I stopped doing it. But I used to really enjoy going to the sand dunes. What's it called? Glamis and those places. Yes,
it's a good time. I've been going for 40 years. I've been going because I started going with my older brother. Mm-hmm. So for 40 years, that's probably about how old you are.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome. It's always good times.
Yeah,
you get to relax and enjoy the time with the family. But what's the one strategy or mindset shift that helped you grow your business faster than you expected?
Joining your team.
Oh, thank you.
Joining your team. For 7 years, I'm someone who I like to work alone. Mm-hmm. I like to bury my head in the sand, mm-hmm. and I wasn't one that I didn't go to all the happy hours, and I didn't associate, I didn't do a lot of networking. When I came to EXP, I realized that all the masterminds that they offer here, mm-hmm. that all the next level growth that's mm-hmm. offered here, I started getting out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And then talking with you that day, mm-hmm. And joining your team that was my whole mindset, was sitting at your table mm-hmm. and learning from you and learning from everyone else here. Mm-hmm. Because I watched you for many years. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was the big shift mm-hmm. in everything, because I could no longer, and excuse my language, half-ass my business. Mm-hmm. Because nobody was watching me when it was just me.
Right.
Now, there are a lot of things that I need to level up on, mm-hmm. but being here and being on your team, it's go.
The environment, right?
The environment is insane, and I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And growing up, I've been like that way. You see me going every single day, mm-hmm. all my life. It's normal for me to, get up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and just go to like 6, 7 p.m. I'm literally working 12, 14 hours a day. But that's just natural, right? It's something that I don't know. I was built a little bit different, right? Which I enjoy. And not that everyone needs to follow what I'm doing. I'm just giving you everything that I can. And you can take it however you want, right?
Yes.
You can apply it however you want.
Yes.
And at least some of it, and then you can make it your own.
Right.
Right. That's the biggest thing. And that's awesome. Great feedback. Now, this is a really good question that I have for you, okay? Because we all go through this. How do you handle the emotions side of real estate? When the deals fall through, when something personal is going on, like, the emotion roller coaster that we go through, it's crazy. How do you handle yourself?
I remove myself emotionally from the transaction, which is not something that I always did. I used to be completely attached to the emotions of my client, of what the seller was doing, what the buyer was doing, what the other agent was doing. And now I have to remind myself that that's not my roller coaster to be on. And so I will back away and I will remove myself emotionally. I will talk them through the situation. And so when I say that I'm a therapist, I truly am a therapist because the emotions, we can't be attached to them. Otherwise, we're going to be on the same roller coaster. And once we get off this ride, we won't want to get on the next ride, which means that we're not going to produce, we're not going to help, and we're going to back away and bury ourselves because we're sad and oh, poor us that we had to go through all of this. It's not how it works. We're business owners. And so emotionally, I no longer attach myself. I can feel their pain because I handle a lot of divorces.
Right.
I can feel what they're going through, but I have to just continue to talk to them through it.
Yeah, I think not crossing the line between your professionalism and your service with your clients.
Yes.
Respecting each other's boundaries. I think that's the biggest difference.
Yes.
When you get too attached to, whoever you're helping, which is not a bad thing, but once again, you have to keep it on a very professional level.
Yes.
Just because now they're going to see you as the individual that they need guidance from, right?
That's exactly.
Instead of, they're trying to walk all over you, right? So
Yes.
I think that's, and there's gonna be people that they will try, but then once again you have to draw the line and make sure that you don't cross it and they don't cross it.
Exactly. And I think that comes a lot with just in corporate. I was a leader, and at times I led hundreds of people. And you just have to know when it's time for you. I always have an open listening ear, but that, like you said, you don't cross that line. And I no longer attach myself to what they're going through.
Right.
I'm there to listen. I'm there to guide you, but I'm not there to feel with you.
Yeah, and giving them the options. Like, this is what we have. What do you guys want to do?
Yes.
Right. There's one saying in life that this is something that I have, that I think about on a consistent basis. You either fix it or you let go.
Yes.
Those are not the only two options that we have here. Like, can you fix it? Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's do our best. Let's fix this.
Yes.
But if it's not within your hands, within your control, then you must let go.
And that's, I actually tell my clients that are divorcing that I'm selling their home. There's nothing that you can do at this point. So you either fix it or you let go. And for them at this point, you're having to let go.
Yeah.
And let's just make sure that we can do this the cleanest. And I'm their person. He comes to me. He doesn't talk to her. She comes to me. She doesn't talk to him.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But it works out in their benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it separate, but then you're handling everything that is happening. What's the craziest story that has happened to you in real estate, if you can share?
There's a couple. Geez. I was showing a home to a friend of mine who was she was going to invest, and I have a habit when I open the door. Hello. I heard
Announce
water.
yourself? Yeah.
I announced myself.
Yeah.
I heard water, and then I heard the washing machine, and I thought, okay, that's where the water's coming from. We go walking up the stairs, and I'm always the first one walking up the stairs or first one walking in, so in case something happens. And this man comes out of the bathroom butt naked. And I went like this, and I said, stop. Her daughter was behind me.
Yeah.
And I said, stop. And all I could tell myself was, don't look down, don't look down. Eye contact. And I looked at him and I said, did you not know that there was showing we're backing out? Let me know when. I said, we're going to go down the stairs. Let me know when we can come back in. And we just backed away, and I felt so bad for him. He had no idea we were coming in.
Oh my God.
No idea that we were coming in. And he came out and he said, well, I have clothes on now. You can go in and see the house. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. One of the other ones was, I was showing a house to a family, and the homeowners owned an adult store. Mm-hmm. So
you can already tell what's going to happen.
We walk into one of the bedrooms, and it was one of their it had everything you can think of. And one of the kids is trying to sit on this swing, and I was like, no, get off.
So
don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. We go outside to the back, and it was like, the husband looks over at me and he goes, I think they're swingers. This is like a swingers paradise. Yeah. Little boy sits down, little girl sits down. I go, don't sit on that. You should probably get up. And he's like, I'm tired. He's trying to lay his face on. I go,
my God, no.
Get up. And the wife, she goes, let's go. Let's go. We got to go. I don't want this house.
That's so funny. I mean, there's so many things that we see, right?
So much. I think we should all put our things together and write a book.
Right?
Because the things that we see, amazing.
The stories of a realtor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's so many that I've been through. I'm like, oh my God, like, all right, yeah, it's pretty crazy what we get to see when we're out there, showing properties in the field. But let's switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about you growing up. In your early, growing up, what shaped you who you are as a businesswoman now? And I think that this is something that a lot of people from an audience can most likely resonate with.
I think growing up, what really shifted. My mom was a single parent because my dad died when I was like 3 or 4, and so she really struggled. And we watched her, and she never stopped. She never stopped. And at some point, she started her own business. But then she met my stepdad. Mm-hmm. And he was a business, his mindset was all about business. Mm-hmm. He did very well. He was in sales. He did purchasing, and he was all over the world. Mm-hmm. And I just attached myself to him. And it was just growing up, because they got married, I think I was like 12 or 13. And he really changed the trajectory of our lives.
That's awesome.
We understood, I really appreciate, because we went from struggling to, oh, wow, we weren't poor anymore.
Right? This is the other side of the coin, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was, and he always spoke business to me. He always spoke sports to me. He spoke life into me. And when he took my mom, he took all 5 of her kids. And, he was my dad. He was the only dad I had. And if it had not been for him, I would not be where I'm at today, just because of the life that he breathed inside of us. And watching the 2 of them together, he's the reason.
That's awesome.
He is the reason.
Now that you mentioned that, as an adult, like, we take for granted those who are watching us. Sometimes our actions, we have people, kids, not just our own children, but outside of our own circle, always watching you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And depending on who you are and what you do, I mean, that you could be the person that can shape that kid's whole mentality about life, about business, about everything. And that was your stepdad.
That was my stepdad. If it wasn't for him, I never would have wanted for more, because he, from a child, he would talk to me about that. And it was because of him that my brother started a business. And so it was just, he really put a lot into us. We were closer to him than his own kids were to him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great story. And when it comes to business, sometimes let's say you work for corporate America, and you get busy working,
right,
living life. And then all of a sudden you just don't see any other opportunities just because you're too busy doing that. Right. And time goes by, and a lot of people get stuck on that. Right. They don't see what other opportunities are out there just because they're too enclosed into what they're doing every single day, every month, every year. And it's just a cycle that they just continue to live up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. They have tunnel vision.
And we're able to...
We see out of our peripheral. We're able to see that. And I mean, for years I had tunnel vision. It was like, like this. I couldn't see anything on my peripheral side, but you see a lot of people like that.
That's how it was for a very long time. I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm doing. I'm not looking left. I'm not looking right. I'm okay. There's no need for me to make any changes, right? But then it is okay to look at different opportunities. It is okay to look at different changes. Once again, if you don't try something different, and there's something, if there is something within you that you're like, I just got to do it. And it's within your, it's a gut feeling that you have. I'll say, just go for it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And that's like, I always say, Steve Harvey always said it, just jump, just jump. And that was when I left corporate America, that was my just jump. I didn't know where I was jumping, but I just jumped. Coming to your team. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I knew that it was going to be good.
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to force me to level up, to become better at the skill that I already have. And I just jumped, and going off topic, that was because I've talked to other agents that said, you always said you would never join a team. Like, you were able to do it. Why did you do it? And I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand. You can only go so far alone.
Right.
If you're doing this for the money, then you're in the wrong business. I'm doing this because I want to learn how to better serve people. I'm not going to sell real estate for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And why not sit at the table with one of the best in the industry? Like, it just makes complete and total sense.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. No, this is all great feedback, because, I'm the kind of person that, I'm always thinking about, am I doing enough? And I've always been like that. I stress, even though, we do, as a team, we're doing very well, and everything's working out, and we're always implementing different things and make sure that our team has the best support possible. That's a question that I always have. Am I doing enough? And that's a bit of a, a bit of a stress that I carry on a daily basis, right? Some days it's heavier than others. But overall, one of the things that I like to do is step outside and, take a breathe and realize everything that we have built, and be thankful. So once you appreciate what you have done, then that appreciation will give you the power to continue, the energy to continue going, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we just don't take the time to appreciate what we have built.
Exactly.
And then we get too caught up into the go, and not necessarily on what we've done. So thank you. Here's a quick question for you. What's the daily habit or ritual that you absolutely swear by keeping yourself grounded and motivated?
So one of the first things that I do, like I have a rhythm every single day. I wake up, I make my bed, and I
That right
sit.
there is a win. That right there is a win.
I have to make my bed because that's the first win of the day. And then I sit down and I pray I'm probably in prayer throughout reading my Bible and everything for about 45 minutes to an hour. Because that's everything to me. And some days I don't even know what to say, but I sit and, it's, for me, that's a non-negotiable, for me. Like and then I go about the day. I, do a little workout. I start checking my emails, but the first two, I make my bed and I have to sit in prayer.
Yeah. I think that right there is huge, right? I think that makes the biggest difference.
It's changed me.
And how long have you had that ritual or that habit?
That has probably been for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
About a year and a half. I was baptized last June, and it has really changed the direction of my life. And so probably about a good year and a half that's all I do.
Okay.
And even when, like, you were talking about earlier about getting emotional, sometimes when I'm feeling that, I will stop where I'm at and I just start praying, even if I'm driving. Like,
Yeah.
I have to go into that because it helps me.
I mean, if you just breathe in and breathe out and just, take a quick prayer of whatever you're going through,
Yes.
right? And just be like, hey, God, just help me out.
And I let it go.
Yeah.
And so, it works for me.
Yeah. No, it's a great advice. Now, in your experience, and now we're going to talk about your clients. What makes a house truly feel like a home? A lot of times we're not just selling houses, right? In this business, and when I work with a lot of buyers, I knew like this is your home. There was a feeling, right? But to your experience, like, what's the difference between a house and truly a home?
I mean, every home, every house, every property we show is a house. There aren't memories being made there. It's just, it's a foundation. It's a property. So when I see the light click in my client's eyes when we walk into the home,
Yeah.
I immediately, can you picture yourself hosting your family here? And I just start, because I know emotionally they just found the one. And so for me, it's when you can picture that you're about to start making memories in this place, you're going to create beautiful times, beautiful memories, and your family is going to come and enjoy this with you. Because to me, that's what a home is.
Yeah.
A home is when you're filling it with love, laughter. Obviously, life isn't perfect, so there's going to be pain, but this is a place that you're always going to go back to. And so for my clients, I'm watching their face.
Yeah.
The minute we walk in, I'm walking around and I see the twinkle in their eye or that smile.
Like, that's it.
That's it. This is it.
That's the cue, right?
That's the cue. I know. And that's, I talk to them and I want them to see themselves there. I want them to see their family there.
I think the homes that we show is gonna draw you, right? Once you get drawn, then like, this is it.
It's over.
Yeah,
it's over. They want it, and that's when we have to get it for them. We have to negotiate everything and make sure that they get that.
Yeah.
And so handing keys off to them,
Like that is it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's what we're doing it for.
I cry every time. I've been doing it for 8 years and I cry every time. The minute they start crying
Yeah.
and I see that emotion,
Yeah.
it just floods through me because the happiness that's coming
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah. I mean, memories and, you know, the years that they're going to be there. And,
Right.
And that's awesome.
And then they're going to call me and say, "Hey, we need to grow. We need a bigger house.
We need a bigger
Come
house.
sell
All right,
this
let's do it. Now, if you could guarantee one lesson gets passed down to your future self in 10 years from now, what would that be?
You belong in the room. You belong in the room because I think too often many of us have, and I know me, as we have imposter syndrome. And so we feel that we don't belong in certain rooms. We cannot achieve as much as person A, person B, person C, that we're not enough. And sometimes people tell you, you'll never become anything. You'll never do anything. You'll never be somebody.
Right.
And so me 10 years from now, going back, you belong in the room. Because there have been many, many times that I felt I didn't belong in the room. And so I wouldn't walk in.
You hold back.
I would hold back. And I would place this glass ceiling on top of my head. And I could never get over that. It was just, I kept bumping it and kept bumping it. And that's why I would produce the same thing every single year. But we belong in any room where we can open the door.
Right.
And too many people don't see that for themselves. And that goes from business to purchasing a home to anything. And so people will just settle
Yeah.
and they won't do anything and they won't become who they're supposed to be.
That is a great, great answer.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Props to you.
Thank you.
Now, last question. Do you believe people are more driven by the desire of achieving something, the fear, or losing something?
So, the early on in life, it was just surviving. So I was driven by survival, and I have to figure this out. And I have to do this. In 2009, 2010, I got divorced, and I had to now provide for my kids on my own. And so it was, I have to do this. I was the way that I can say it is like when a mouse falls into something and they're sitting there like hamster wheel, just trying to. I lived in survival mode, and that drove me because I had to survive.
Right.
And when you live in survival mode, you're burning yourself on both ends.
Yeah.
And I no longer, probably in the last couple of years, I stopped living in survival mode. And I was driven by the things that, and I'm like struggling to put that piece into words, but I now survive by the things that I'm able to do for other people.
Serving.
Serving.
There's a little mosquito attacking you, right?
It's like hold on. I'm about to survive from sliding this. But it's more of serving others. And if I can inspire just one person to do something, I no longer live in survival mode. I no longer, there are some things that I still have to figure out. Right. There are some things but I'm not like where the water's up to here and I'm pedaling so hard just to keep my head, just to breathe. When you live that way, you're just always, it's so negative.
And I think most of us, grew up that way, right? We grew up, just based on I can remember of my childhood, it was always survival.
Yeah.
Work, right? But now, and as we continue to develop ourselves, we try to, or now we try, but we work towards finding the purpose, which is the
Yes.
biggest difference, right?
Yes.
Now we have a purpose.
Yes.
If you find the purpose, I think that survival kind of fades away.
It does.
Eventually, it's gonna show up every once in a while, right? We're always gonna have the sense of urgency, and you just gotta go. But you're gonna bring yourself back, and just once you discover the purpose of why you're doing this, I think that's the one thing that makes the biggest difference in our lives. Now we have more of a purpose,
Yes. And we pivot
Yes.
versus, oh, how am I going to get myself out of this? We're pivoting and we're making strategical moves because now we actually know what our purpose is. And so, for me, a lot of it is serving people. It's, I serve at the church. It's just, for me, it is about being humble and serving others and leading by example and not living by survival. Because not only do I still have my kids that watch me, they're all grown adults, but my grandkids watch me.
Yeah.
And my grandkids will ask me, did you get it? My grandkids will talk business to me.
Yeah.
And I know they're watching me because of the things that they ask me.
Yeah.
So
actions always speak louder than words, you know?
Yes. So it's all about purpose now.
Yeah.
And still trying to find, more of.
I mean, self-development will never stop.
End.
It never ends, right? But as I mentioned before, as you continue to do this, the journey is the one that matters the most. Because, one of the questions I like to ask our guests is, what's more important to you, energy or time? Energy or time?
Time.
Okay.
And I mean, because if you don't have time, then if you're not creating time or you don't have time, the energy doesn't matter.
What if you have all the time in the world, but you don't apply the right energy?
Yeah, no. And environment, energy, good vibes.
Right?
Yeah.
So always think
Good way
about
to look at it.
Yeah.
Good way to look at it.
So I always think of because, we grow up time is everything, right? Like we don't have all the time in the world. Tomorrow we're not going to be here. Yeah, but if you don't have the right energy to handle time, does it really matter?
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah, no, now, because now you shifted my mind where it was more energy of me having energy, but not the energy the environment that I'm in.
And the energy you're
creating
providing.
the energy that I'm providing.
Yeah.
I like that.
So think about that
I take
one.
that back, energy.
So last but not least, what's your favorite book that you can probably, give us to that we can give to our audience? What's the one book that that helps out? Besides, we know you read your Bible, right? But what's another book that you can suggest?
Oh my gosh, I have so many books that I've read, but honestly, I think that one of the biggest ones is going to be Mel Robbins, it's the rule, the 5 rule. I can't think of the name of the book.
Haven't read that one though.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But there are so many books. I really try to focus on when I'm driving, I'm listening to a book.
Yeah.
Because, music is great, but when you're listening to an Audible and, you get off your car, you're about to meet a client, it's like, boom.
Yeah.
Fire.
Different mindset, right?
It's a different mindset. So that one is sticking out. Brain Brown is really good. Tim, I can't remember his name right now, but so many books.
Yeah.
But that 5-second rule, because we procrastinate.
Yeah.
We're human, not you. But,
so
we
do I. So do I. I procrastinate too.
When my alarm goes off, it's like, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. I want to sleep. I'm tired. But it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anyone that is looking to buy here in Maricopa County, in
Northern Arizona.
Northern Arizona.
I'm also with the association in Prescott, Central Arizona, and the Greater Phoenix Metropolitan. So,
Hey, Michelle, thank you for being part of our show. I think it has been a great episode. Anybody that is watching, make sure to share, subscribe, like. And Michelle, if anybody's thinking about buying or selling a house, we always like to ask our guests, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
They can send me a direct message. They can send me a private message on Facebook. They can reach out to me on my cell phone, 480-261-9547. Send me a smoke signal.
Michelle, once again, thank you for being part of this show. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Anyone that is looking to buy or sell, reach out to Michelle, and we're here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.